Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over a potential wildcard draft for Game Week 21. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment. Are you thinking of wildcarding for this game week? Subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off in goal, we do have Alisson and we do have Fabianski. Fabianski should be back in the West Ham starting 11 very, very soon. Obviously, he's got that concussion injury, so he couldn't play. The fixtures aren't ideal for West Ham, but it's just nice having a playing goalkeeper on the bench. If you have played your bench boost, then obviously you don't need to do that. You can just go with a cheap goalkeeper. I mean, Fabianski's cheap anyway, but you can just go for like a 3.9 or a 4 mil goalkeeper. But if you haven't played your bench boost yet and you are going to want to play it in the future, then obviously it's going to be a player that you want to bring in because it's just extra points for a very, very slight difference in terms of price. I mean, you could bring him in anyway, even if you're not on a bench boost, just simply because, you know, if anything happens to Alisson, then you've already got Fabianski on the bench that can come in, but it's completely up to you. I'd probably go with him just to make it a little bit safer, with the price being barely any difference, than to just kind of like save 0.1. So Fabianski's the backup goalkeeper, but Alisson's the main goalkeeper. We do have that double coming up for Liverpool in either 23 or 24. So that's kind of why you want to be tripling up on Liverpool as of right now, just because then you don't have to worry about any transfers regarding that. The fixtures are quite nice for Liverpool as well coming up. I mean, Forest and Brentford away are both pretty tough away fixtures, but after that we've got Ipswich at home, Bournemouth, Wolves at home. You know, very, very nice clean sheet potentials from those fixtures, and you've got that double coming up as well. So I definitely recommend having Alisson in goal, just simply because of that. Obviously there are other keeper options that are very good. You're looking at Matt Sells, Raya, stuff like that, but they don't have a double coming up. That's the main kind of talking point around Alisson, is just simply because you get an extra fixture out of him. He's actually cheaper than Raya as well, and Matt Sells is obviously a little bit cheaper than Alisson, but I mean, the Forest fixture are kind of hit and miss. Obviously, they've got Southampton coming up at home, but then they've also got Liverpool at home. So, yeah, it's Alisson would be the player that I would go with, just because of, like, say, that double end, the fixtures that are kind of coming up after that as well. But those are the two goalkeepers that I would have in goal for my Game Week 21 wildcard. At the back, we've got Gabriel, Virgil van Dijk, Milenkovic, Munoz, and Robinson. So I do have another Liverpool defender here. Not gone with Trent. The reasoning behind that is just that Virgil is a 90-minute player. Obviously, that double's coming up, and you don't have to worry about him getting rotated. You could go Konate, I guess, because I'm pretty sure Konate is going to be a 90-minute man now that he's back from injury, and that would obviously save you a little bit more money because he's a little bit cheaper. Well, I say a little bit cheaper. He's like a mil cheaper, so that's quite a big difference. But Virgil van Dijk, you know, is just not going to miss a game, and he's going to play every single one for 90 minutes. Trent obviously is still an option as well. I can't get to him with this draft. As you can see, I've only got 0.4 mil in the bank. If you wanted to go Trent, obviously the upside is there. You know, he does have the attacking potential. He's not on all the set pieces anymore, which is a bit of a downgrade. And, you know, it's the weird thing about Trent. Obviously, we all saw what happened with the last game against United. He picked up 0 points and had an absolute stinker. The game before that, obviously, he picked up the 15 points. But at the end of the day, it was a wicked deflection for that goal, and West Ham did hit the post a couple of times as well. So in that fixture, on another day, he only gets like 1 or 2 points, and I think it's because of that 15-pointer that he's still in so many conversations. And again, I'm not taking anything away from the fact that he does have that whole potential, because he's done it numerous times. It's just in this system, I feel like he's not getting utilized as much in terms of like points and for points and stuff. So for me, I might not even go near Trent. I think if we didn't get that 15-pointer the other day, I think a lot of people would be selling him right now, especially after that 0-pointer against United. It's just that I don't want to say lucky 15-pointer, because I mean, FPL is a game of luck at the end of the day. Like I say, he got a deflection on the goal and they hit the post a few times as well. So on another day, that's a completely different game. But at the end of the day, it is something that can happen with Trent. You know, he does have that ability. So you bring him in because you know he does have that potential, if that makes sense. So Van Dijk's safer. Trent is more explosive, more points. Obviously, Bradley's back now as well, so his minutes will potentially get managed a tiny bit. I don't think he's going to get dropped. I think he's still like much better than Bradley in terms of going forward. Probably not defensively, but in terms of going forward, he's a lot better. It's up to you whether you want to pay the extra money. You could go and pay 7.2 for Trent, 6.4 for Virgil van Dijk, or like 5 point whatever it is for Konate. There's literally 3 different options for Liverpool, all in different kind of categories. You've got Konate, who's not as safe but the cheapest. Van Dijk, who's the kind of middle price, but 90 minutes gonna play. Does have that corner threat as well. And then you have Trent, who's more expensive, potential minutes risk, but has that explosive haul potential. So there's like 3 different ones you can go for if you want to go triple Liverpool anyway. If you don't want to go double Liverpool defense and you want to bring in an attacker, then you just bring in Alisson, because he's just probably the best one, because he's very, very cheap and you know he's going to play all the time. But anyway, that's Virgil van Dijk. Again, if you want to go Trent, he's still an incredible option. It is completely up to you at the end of the day. That's just the different kind of variations of the Liverpool players that you can bring in. Gone Gabriel, because I still think it's worth having an Arsenal defender. I know they just got beat 2-0 at home yesterday by Newcastle, but I think Gabriel is still a solid player to have. I don't think we should be getting rid of all of our Arsenal assets, especially with, you know, the defence is still one of the best in the league, and I think that Spurs at home fixture could be a bit tough, but I can still see him keeping a clean sheet or getting a goal from that fixture. And they've also got Wolves and Leicester coming up as well. There's a few good fixtures coming up for them. Milenkovic, I feel like you kind of need a Forest defender. You know, they're leading the way for clean sheets this season. They've got 4 in a row. Liverpool at home is obviously going to be a tough one. I don't think they're going to keep a clean sheet in that game. But then they've got Southampton at home right after, and you definitely expect them to keep a clean sheet in that fixture. And then like Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham, it's one of those. Like they could keep clean sheets in any of those fixtures. You know, that we're so solid at the back, it's actually ridiculous. I just don't know what's going on. I'm just absolutely living the dream right now. But yeah, with Milenkovic, I feel like it's just worth having a Forest defender that you'd bench this week, but then you'd obviously play him the week after. Munoz is another player that I definitely think about bringing in on a wild card. He's getting so forward in that Palace team. The fixtures are ridiculous. He's not crazy expensive. I think he's got a haul coming in very, very soon. You know, he's had a goal cleared off the line. He's firing balls into the box constantly. He's got a haul coming up 100%. He's getting so much service and so much attacking potential. And I've also got Robinson as well, leading the way for defender assists so far this season. They've got West Ham and Leicester both away coming up. Obviously West Ham are not great at the moment. They're also missing Jared Bowen. He's not going to be back till like February, March time. So I think this is a game where Robinson can definitely do really well. We've also got United coming up, Newcastle away, Forest at home. The fixtures are all right for Robinson. I just really like him as an option. Could go Castagna, Anderson if you wanted to. I just prefer Robinson in my opinion. He's a little bit more money, but I just think he's, you don't have to worry about his minutes or anything. He's going to play all the time. He's just a solid asset. So they're the defenders and the goalkeepers. In midfield, we've got Rodgers, Eze, Palmer, Salah, and Fernandes. So Fernandes is in this team because obviously they've got Southampton at home this week. The fixtures aren't actually too bad for United going forward. And if they play every week like they did against Liverpool, they're going to be a really decent team, because that game was the best they've played all season. I know we all like meme on Man United and stuff and how much they fell off, but they played very well and they probably should have won that game. They definitely should have been like 1 or 2 up in the first half. But yeah, with that Southampton fixture, on penalties, you know, if he gets any kind of attacking return, he's a bonus magnet as well, so he's going to be getting bonus from that. You know, he got an assist at the weekend and he got 2 bonus from it. So it was a 7-pointer from, you know, 1 assist, which is really, really good. And like I said, the fixture is not too bad. Obviously, Brighton, Fulham, Palace and Spurs after this Southampton fixture. Any game he can really do well in. You played the hardest one really this season now, which is Liverpool away, and he got a 7-pointer. So now I think he's a decent asset to bring in. Also gone Salah and Palmer, obviously speak for themselves. Don't have to worry about those. Gone Eze, could go Sarr if you wanted to. The fixtures are really, really nice. I think it's worth having a Palace attacker going forward. Sarr's obviously a little bit cheaper, but Eze potentially on penalties. You know, him and Mateta are kind of like rotating the penalties. I think it's whoever wants to take it on the day, so it's kind of a lucky dip if you get a penalty and you've got a Palace attacker. You could go Mateta instead of Eze if you really wanted to, if you do have the funds. There's nothing wrong with that, and then just drop like Eze to Sarr and go like triple Palace, because the fixtures are just so good. But yeah, I think Eze's he's a solid player going forward. I mean, the fixtures are the best for. I think Palace has the best fixture run over the next 5, and so it's definitely worth having 1 or 2 players from that team. And then I've also gone Rodgers as well. Again, Rodgers could be any of the kind of 5 sort of 5.5 million attackers if you wanted to go there, but I just think Rodgers best value for money. The fixtures aren't too good coming up for Aston Villa. They've got Everton and Arsenal away, but then after that, West Ham at home, solid fixture. Wolves away, Ipswich at home. Rodgers is a player you could always just have on your bench, but if you want to play him, you know, he's always got that kind of goal or assist in him as well. I think he's having a really good season so far. So that's the midfield there. And then up top, we've gone João Pedro, we've gone Isak, and we've also gone Chris Wood as well. So João Pedro has started firing again. You know, he's on penalties, just like a lot of these players are as well. So it's just always beneficial because there was a lot of penalties this weekend, and you can see kind of the difference that does to points. But they've got some really good fixtures: Ipswich, Man United, Everton, Forest, and they've also got Chelsea as well in the next 5. So he could score in any of those games really. And he's just so cheap as well. So a solid option there in João Pedro. He's playing 90 every single week as well, which his minutes were a bit of a risk, but now, especially with Welbeck being out, he's kind of like first on that team sheet. And he's always really praised by the manager as well. He always absolutely loves talking about him. Isak as well, you know, one of the best, if not the best striker to own in the game right now. He's scoring or getting assists every single week. He's just an absolutely solid asset to own. And I've also gone Chris Wood as well. This third striker spot could really be anyone. It could be a Mateta, it could be a Wood, could be a Jesus. You could bench him this week with Liverpool at home. It's just that Southampton at home fixture. I think he's definitely hopefully got 1 or 2 goals in him for that fixture. Like, I know that there's 2 Forest players on this draft, but like I say, you can just bench him for Liverpool and then obviously play them for Southampton, because a lot of people are going to want some sort of Forest assets going into game week 22, should I say, because of that Southampton at home fixture. Like I say, this week you play maybe Alisson in goal. I don't know if you play double R. The Liverpool game is going to be really weird. I mean, it's top of the table clash, really. You know, if Forest do win that game, which I don't think that, I mean, they are the underdogs, but I wouldn't completely write them off. And it is at the City ground as well, and that's an absolute fortress at the moment. I don't think that it's going to be an easy game at all for Liverpool, and I think they know that as well. I think it's got 1-0 written all over it. It's just who gets that goal. I don't even know if Salah's a decent captaincy shout this week, because we are just so good defensively, and Aina absolutely pocketed Salah in the game at Anfield. So if that happens again, we could do the double on him. But yeah, this week you'd play like Alisson in goal, and then you could play double defense. You could play Gabriel, Munoz, and Robinson, though. There's nothing wrong with playing that. It'd be weird to bench Virgil van Dijk and Milenkovic and Chris Wood, but it could be something you do this week. But if you're definitely backing a Liverpool win and backing a Liverpool clean sheet, then obviously you can play Virgil van Dijk over somebody else, and then you just play like the 3-5-2 or the 3-4-3 if you wanted to. You could bench probably Rodgers. Everton away is not a great fixture. But then you could, like say, you could play Chris Wood if you wanted to, if you're only playing one Liverpool defender, or you can just do a 3-5-2 and play Rodgers. But yeah, I think this is kind of a wildcard draft that I'd probably go with if I was on it this week. Again, everyone does have a second wildcard if you did use it before Game Week 19. Doesn't matter, you got another one now. If you are new to the game, then you get one after Game Week 19, which is very, very beneficial. We will be able to use the manager chip soon as well, so obviously you kind of want a little bit of money in the bank for that, because it is going to be like 0.5 cost. So that's also something to think about. There's obviously 0.4 in this team, so you're just out of that range. But if you want to be using that manager chip straight away, then obviously you just, I don't know, go from like Virgil to Canate or something like that. But either way, that's the draft that I've come up with. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 100 likes. Leave a comment with your thoughts on this draft. Are you going to be playing your wildcard anytime soon? Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell. It's everything from me. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.